As we wait on Michelle Bachmann, Rick Santorum stealing part of the show last night in Iowa, surging past his rivals to a near tie with frontrunner Mitt Romney, 8 votes between them. And experts say that is no small task when you consider this. Santorum would often say, quote, "You can't buy Iowa," referring to his rivals. And his campaign expenses included one receipt from Target adding up to $17, another from Walmart at just under $5, and arguably the biggest splurge, a receipt from Priceline.com for nearly $700, that from the New York Times. How'd he do it? Tim Murphy, Republican congressman out of Pennsylvania. Sir, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Big challenge ahead. Going to New Hampshire, polling right around 5%, but you know this man very well. Well, you sang in the choir with him back in 1992, which I think is the first year he won a congressional seat. What is Rick Santorum's appeal that helped him so much in Iowa? What he did back then,
yeah, what we literally sang in the choir together after church services. Rick would go out, knock on doors the rest of the day, would be at it 7 days a week. And all along, Rick's approach was talk policy and bring people together. So back then he was talking about freedom, but also tied that with personal responsibility. The district that he ran in, which is now the district I have, the 18th district, he appealed to blue-collar voters, Reagan Democrats. It's a majority Democrat district, and he had to do that by bringing people together. I suspect he used that same sort of tenacity and relentlessness in Iowa, going every county, talking to as many people as he could about the policy issues, and being positive and optimistic about America, and that's where you see his message really
you
carry
also
through.
know that this is a guy who ran for the Senate in Pennsylvania and lost in his home state.
He did. That was the year that... Well, Pennsylvania lost 5 congressional seats that year, lost the governor's race that year by record proportions, and so it really was a year that was a low point for Republicans really across America. But what Rick did over time was sat back, really worked on building up coalitions with people again, and I suspect he'll continue that kind of hard work carrying through the coming months.
You know, and we have talked to many campaign strategists, you need a strategy in place to help you go forward in the next contest, be it New Hampshire or South Carolina. And you know, Rick Santorum, he had gas money in Iowa. I mean, that's essentially how he did so well, because he went to all 99 counties. I just want to ask you about one point you've made earlier. You say he won because he built around the policy and not the party label. Explain that.
Yes, and that's what's going to happen, and that's what is going to help win an election in the fall. That what happened with regard to Rick working on policies, he talked to people about issues that are important to them, issues about family, about national security, about turning the economy around. Years before, when people in Pennsylvania may not have reelected him, let's keep in mind what they have now is real buyer's remorse. That they ended up with is if we had had that 41st vote in the Senate, we would not have had the health care bill, we wouldn't have had another $2.7 trillion in debt, we wouldn't have had the stimulus bill. And so people are looking back and says, you know, maybe we really should be looking at the wide spectrum of the policies involved. And that's where Senator Santorum, I suspect, built up a lot of his strength and will continue to do so.
Well, we will watch and see whether or not he can be successful. Tim Murphy, a surrogate, a friend of Rick Santorum back there in his home state of Pennsylvania. Sir, thank you. And good luck to your Steelers, by the way, in the postseason. You guys are going to need it. Talk to you down the road.
We'll pull it off.
Thank you.